Hey guys, Mark Shankman here, and I'm getting back on track. As many of you know, if you watch me on Facebook, you saw that I took a trip to Vegas, and it did distract me a little bit from this 32-part series of Grant Cardone's 10X Traits of Successful People that I had been doing, and I just want to get back to it. So I'm glad you guys are here to follow along, and I'm continuing on with the 32 traits. So today is trait number 7, successful people always take risks. And Grant talks about how so many people are taught to play it safe, and that from an early age we've been taught to be conservative, and we've taught really never to go for anything in a really big way. He talks about how life is a great deal like Vegas. And I love this. This really hits me close to home because I just made 2 trips to Vegas in the last month, and I can definitely relate to this. So life is a great deal like Vegas, where you have to put a lot on the line to go ahead and see a big return in your investment. So you can't just throw one chip out there and hope to bring in a big return on investment. You've got to take all your chips and you've got to stack all your chips out there and put it all out there. And that way, if you succeed, you definitely will see a big return on investment. And even if you fail, you've put yourself out there, you were willing to take a risk, and you just kind of bounce back and come back and try to do it again. So successful people are willing to take risks, and average people are trying to protect themselves. What they're trying to really do is they're trying to protect themselves, they're trying to conserve their station in life or their certain reputation or a position that they've already achieved, while successful people really just throw caution to the wind. And just like I said, with putting all your chips out there, put it all out there, risk everything, and regardless of the outcome, they know they can go back out there and they can do it all over again. And that's really the key, is knowing that if you put all your chips, you figure you put all your chips out there and you lose, then you're done. It's over. But that's not true. Successful people know that they'll rebuild up those chips and they'll put that whole stack out there again and try again and keep trying until they finally see that big return on investment. Successful people allow themselves to be criticized. They put themselves out there for the world to see, while average people hold back, and they are taught to play it safe and don't like to be perceived as someone out there in a leadership role. They like to really be more behind the scenes and not taking chances. So remember the old saying Grant talks about: nothing ventured, nothing gained. It really is true in this situation. You have to be willing to roll the dice if you want to see that big payday, and not necessarily in terms of finances, but it might be in a position that you're trying to achieve or a certain goal that you want to achieve. We're not just talking about money here. We're talking about success, and success can be finding that right person to live the rest of your life with. It could be developing good relationships with your family and friends. It could be business. It could be finances. But it could be many, many things. So I want to take this trait, and I want to talk about how this has played a big part in my life. And for many of you that know me, I am definitely a natural-born risk taker, and I could probably quote 10 different things easily that I've done in my life. But I've chosen 3 that I think really set the stage and give you a little input, a little insight into me and what I'm all about. So the first thing was I was back in dental school. I was just about to graduate, and I decided something inside of me just kind of grabbed me and said, I really wanted to go out to California. I was living in New York at the time, or I was from New York, and I was in Baltimore just finishing up my dental school training at University of Maryland. And I not sure exactly what it was, but I had that inner burning drive to go to California. Wasn't going out to start a showbiz career, so that's not what this was all about. But I just wanted to live in California. I wanted to live in the land of milk and honey. I just perceived it as a beautiful place to be. Everybody seemed to be really excited and upbeat. and I just wanted to go there. And so I just made that decision. I just flat out, just one day decided I was going to do that. I remember at the time I had a girlfriend, and I told her that I wanted to go out. She was welcome to come with me, but one way or the other, I was going. And the two of us ultimately did go out there. I remember at the time before we left, we went out to a local bar in her hometown, and I remember talking to all our friends, and all our friends would look at me and go, "Man, you guys are so lucky. You're so lucky to be able to get up and do something like this." And I'd look at them like, what makes me so special? Why don't you do it if you want to do something like this? I remember looking down at their ankles and going, I don't see any ball and chain attached to your ankle. I don't see any roots coming up, growing up from out of the ground, grabbing you and preventing you from going anywhere you want to be. So many people are just so terrified to take risks and take chances in their lives. And I remember so many people were just absolutely amazed by my decision to do that. And ultimately, I did go out there and spent 4 years out there. And then ultimately, I did wind up coming back as my girlfriend, who had then become my wife, really wanted to move back east. We did that. But I did follow through and live my dream and get out there, and lived in Southern California for a couple of years, and then Northern California for a couple of years before coming back. So the second thing that I did was I was a general dentist for about 7 years, and really just grew unhappy with what I was doing, was never really excited about what general dentistry had to offer. Just didn't enjoy the job. And I decided to make a switch. And at the time I was in the United States Air Force and was stationed at Hanscom Air Force Base out in Massachusetts. And I just decided at that point that once I got done, I was going to apply for oral surgery training. Oral surgery training is extremely competitive, and if you don't get in, you don't get to do it. It's as simple as that. So, knowing what my decisions were, knowing how I just didn't want to pursue dentistry at all any longer in the future, that if I didn't get in to oral surgery training, I was going to completely just change over what I was doing. I was going to either work with pharmaceutical companies. I was planning on maybe going back to school for computers or IT. I absolutely was not going to be a general dentist any longer. I just was completely bored by the position, and really looked to do something different. So I did apply to oral surgery, went on several interviews, and ultimately did get in, but was completely 100% prepared and had set up interviews actually for after the day of the oral surgery match program, kind of the way they do it. After that date, if I did not get in, I had interviews lined up to go off and meet with some of these pharmaceutical companies and maybe some dental IT software companies. I was going to do anything but do general dentistry. And, I was willing to reinvent myself once again. And, getting into dentistry was pretty challenging, but I wasn't going to do that, and I was going to definitely do something different. And then now I've been doing oral surgery for 11 years. I have my own practice, and am extremely successful with it. But now I've found a new challenge and a new venture, and it's my internet marketing business, my online business, and really excited about it, really excited for a new challenge. I still love what I do with oral surgery, but there's one thing that I saw with online business that is a huge advantage over my oral surgery practice, and that's, in oral surgery, I have to unfortunately hurt someone through surgery to make them better, to help them. And with online business, I don't have to do that. I can absolutely change people. I can help them grow their mindset. I can help them change the way they think about the world and the way they think about themselves, overcoming, those beliefs, those limiting beliefs that keep them from achieving greatness. And I can motivate people and absolutely change their futures and help them fulfill their destinies and create financial freedom, time freedom. The beauty of this business is you can do this from anywhere in the world with either a phone or a computer and a Wi-Fi connection. So you can absolutely travel the world, do this from wherever. and it simply takes a couple hours a day. So I'm really excited about this, but again, I'm looking to reinvent myself. And most people would say, Mark, you're a doctor, you're an oral surgeon. What are you doing? You already have a highly successful practice. Why throw that away? First of all, I don't see it as throwing it away. I do have plans for my oral surgery practice, but I absolutely am thrusting myself into this new opportunity because I see the advantages in it. And as a risk taker, I am willing to once again reinvent myself. So I hope you guys gain some value out of this, and I look forward to talking to you guys again on trait number 8, and look forward to talking to you again in the future. Take care.